We're trying to build a super awesome low C10 here that has an LT5 in it. We just got a bunch of fresh new sheet metal for the bed, and today we're gonna figure out how the heck to put this all together and get the bed mocked up there, and then maybe even get an accessory drive on the LT5. I'm waiting on Master Gary. He's running around here like little C10 Yoda. He's got a master game plan and he knows exactly how to do this. So we're gonna learn a little something today. So yeah, totally wasn't kidding when I said that this C10 has an LT5, which is super cool because LT5s are awesome, but the LT5 is just discontinued. Like, we were reading an article literally this morning, LT5 discontinued. So that makes this truck even cooler now that it's got kind of like a rare power plant, but also makes things a little more interesting for us because of course a discontinued motor probably has a little bit harder parts to come by, and we aren't super familiar with the aftermarket support for LT5s currently because this is our first LT5 build. Not a lot of people are doing them. But in this package rests an LT5 accessory drive system. See, look, dry natural. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Looks like we just got a few more boxes in there, really. Just a few more boxes. Wonder what this is for. Ooh. Nice. While I'm about to tackle this cosmic headache of front drive accessory stuff, Gary's over here getting a bed on a truck and actually making a vehicle. Meanwhile, I've got about 18 idler pulleys, lots of bolts, and some big supercharger that I have to figure out how to put a belt around. I'm sure it'll go like something like that. Yeah, I mean that's how all of them go. But you know, Holly has sent me some delightful instructions here, and I'm gonna start off with the water pump manifold. That's what they're calling it, the water pump manifold. I've never called it a water pump manifold. Look at this belt though. You could wear this thing like a sash. Like, that is more than 2 fingers wide. Well, I didn't make it super far before I had some questions for Holly tech support about this here belt tensioner. So now I got good Holly music going on while I continue to move forward with my install. Alrighty, just confirmed with Holly, got off the phone with them. This is not the correct tensioner for this kit. No big deal. Awesome thing about Holly is they're super sweet, super cool, good customer service, and they got a new tensioner on the way, literally shipped out today right after we got off the call. So I'm gonna continue to put together this accessory drive the most that I can with what I got while we wait for that tensioner. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get everything but the alternator on, and then of course I won't be able to get the belt on without the tensioner. I can get the supercharger belt on because it's on its own separate pulley with its own separate tensioner. So yeah, we're gonna see how far we can get. That'd be sweet. All right, I like what's going on here. We're making some decent progress. Got the whole water pump assembly on and got the alternator mounted really down, happy, tight. I like how it's tucked up under there so close. This whole serpentine system, although it's like a whole lot more to look at than most serpentine systems, for an LT5's sake, it keeps it all pretty tight. So that's pretty sweet. Shout out to Holly. Now we're moving on to idler pulleys. I'm pretty sure I gotta mount them, like a few of them all over the place here. I bet one goes there, maybe. I don't know. I got instructions. We're gonna figure it out. Outstanding developments. I know for a fact these are my bolts because my instructions say what size they need to be, and I spec'd them. These are my pulleys, and I've deduced that they go around these dowels that are extruding from the water pump assembly. Ready? Oh yeah. That's nice. That's the stuff. I'm gonna spit a little lube on there. Just taking a moment to show everybody that we're not all monsters here, and we do actually torque pulleys to spec. Our torquing is not limited to pulleys only, actually. If it has a torque spec and seems crucial, most of the time we'll run it. Ooh, give me that click, give me that click. Yeah. Let's do another one, let's do another one. Oh yeah. All right, now we got this big old fat donkey idler pulley. It's for our supercharger, because you know, that's a stout little idler. All right, last one. We got the grooved idler for our donkey serpentine supercharger. That's what it's called, actually. Unreleased. General Motors never informed everybody, but it's actually called the massive donkey. Look it up. It's called the big donkey. That's what this is. That's what that is. Big old donkey. All right. We had to take a few steps back here. Big donkey pulley had to be removed. This is not the same big donkey pulley. This is. They sent us two. One of them is a little bigger donkey than the other one. The biggest donkey, can't use, because there's interference between extra wide donkey, which mounts right here, and normal donkey, which mounts right here. So what we need are two normal donkeys. We can't have one like really extravagant donkey and then a normal donkey. We gotta have two normal donkeys side by side so we don't have any clearance issues. I don't know why they sent two pulleys with the kit. Like, this one is obviously a lot, you know, the dimensions are not the same. Man, some of y'all already know what this is. If you don't know what this is the absolute most important component to be driven by your drive belt. More important than the supercharger, more important than the water pump. This is your air conditioning compressor. It's crucial. Yeah, now we gotta put that tailgate on there. Gotta go right there. We got many bits here. We got latch bits and hinge bits, and they got a bolt onto the tailgate right there. That's what we're gonna do here. Gary, what are you trying to make happen here?
Install latches.
Latches?
Yeah.
How are you getting the push rods all the way up in there?
With my bits.
With your mitts?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. It's like 20 inches. I can fit inside this tire. I can crawl in there. All right, so we've sliced up these little cross sections here in the front of the bed and the back of the bed, and now we're gonna get ready to clamp those into place so we can continue mocking stuff up. Gary told me to retrieve the jack and a wooden block. Told you guys Gary was the coolest. He just marched into the woods and came back with these little brackets here to keep the tailgate closed while we're mocking everything up. Evidently that's the next step. It's still a mystery as to why we need the jack and the block. The jack and the wood block were so we could jack up this back brace here and get the angle of the bed right, basically line up the body line with the cab. To help us do that, we're running this little piece of string along the whole side of the truck, and the idea is that it'll give us a much better idea of where our body line sits. We've got the bed squared on the chassis right now, and we've got the cab squared on the chassis, so cab is bolted down and fixed, and that's kind of our reference point. We know it's not going anywhere. What we're doing right now is determining how much we need to raise the rear of the bed and lower the front of the bed to get the body line to match perfect. We determined that the front of the bed was a little too low, and we went ahead and shimmed it up on both sides, and that gave us exactly what we want. Holding our line up, we are pretty much dead nuts with the body line all the way to the cab. Feeling really good about it. We got it all the way aired out, and we can move on with our custom floor and bed framing. Now that we have the angle of the bed right where we want it, it's time to start mocking up braces for actually bolting the bed to the chassis. We also need to take into account where the floor of the bed is going to be, because we want the floor of the bed to be right around here relative to the wheel tub that we're running, which means that we have to make little legs that are going to pretty much raise this frame 4 inches, and then rails that will border our entire bed assembly so we can put in a floor. It's gonna be ridiculous, actually. We haven't seen it done before, but we're gonna do partial wood panel floor and then partial bead roll floor. What I mean by that is we're gonna do wood panels in the front in the back, but where this giant hump is gonna be for these ridiculous tires, pretty much gonna be a hump going to go along the entire rear axle. So we'll have wood panel, finish painted, bead rolled hump, and then wood panel some more, and it's gonna look pretty sweet. I'm actually currently raising the shocks up a little bit so we can get a little bit more clearance for our wheel tub. That way they can bolt right in and it'll save us a lot of work on the front end. We're rocking with these really neat brackets that pretty much let us determine and decide where our bottom shock is gonna bolt. So we were running it on the bottom hole. What I did is went ahead and disconnected the shock. Now we're gonna put a bolt through here and it's going to line up with the top hole, just giving us about another inch of clearance up on top on that wheel tub.
Yeah. Lot of boring math later.
Gary, you pretty much finished the whole truck here off camera. You mind explaining yourself?
That worked really damn fast.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've got the floor structure in here, make it strong, make it have some scrumph to it. Put these little fellas up here to raise it up. Have this right here, so this ends up sliding in. This bolt is welded into there, so whenever I pull the bed off, it just drops back in place. Don't have to deal with the bolt or bolts to line up. You'll have a little bit of play, just so we can adjust it need be, because you have to adjust the cab, fenders, whatnot, whenever you put it all back together. So, I can't remember how many inches this is raised, but it's a few. It's a couple of them, just mainly to bag it down and make everything fit.
So you're referring to how many inches the rail was raised?
The bed floor. I still have to make some stuff to go through here, to here, and here.
all right. Very animated, Gary.
So over here, you'll see that I still have to go back through and make that all work, because we want these lines right here to go through there a little bit better.
I understand.
And then we'll tie in with sheet metal through there. Make it all look like it's supposed to be there.
Well, that's perfect, Gary. Thank you.
All right.
You got anything to say to the folks before they leave? Get them on with their day? You got anything?
Bye, television people.
Oh, Gary.